Make sure you have your headphones on before the test starts. Hi guys, this is Ms. Hernandez. I'm going to be reading your Unit 3, The Eyes Are Watching God unit test. This test is going to include 3 parts. Well, right here it only shows 2 parts. Part 1, core knowledge of the novel. So what was the whole book about? Part 2 is just a literary analysis essay on a different text. Be sure you read all the directions. I'll read them aloud to you. Make sure you're annotating the text. You read the questions carefully. Read all answers before you make your choice. Use process of elimination. If you see a quotation or section on the text, go back and skim the part before you choose your answer. Use your notes to help you, and you can use a scratch paper to eliminate multiple choice questions and plan your open response. If you receive a accommodated copy by me, you will have an extra packet to help you in your writing portion to plan out your essay. Section 1. Core knowledge of the unit. Do your best to answer these questions based on your understanding of the novel, Their Eyes Are Watching God. You may use your book and knowledge organizer to help you answer the questions. 1. Which statement best justifies Nanny and Janie's view of trees? A. For Nanny, trees remind her of family trauma. For Janie, trees signify new beginnings. B. While Nanny sees trees as steady and reliable, Janie sees trees as barriers to freedom. C. Nanny likens trees to the watchful eye of God. Janie believes trees present temptations. D. Nanny notices how trees wilt and die. Janie notices how trees bloom and reproduce. 2. Part A. Read the excerpt from the book below. It was the meanest moment in eternity. A minute before she was just a scared human being fighting for its life. Now she was sacrificing self with tea cake's head in her lap. She had wanted him to live so much and he was dead. No hours ever eternity, but it has its right to weep. Janie held his head tightly to her breast and wept and thanked him wordlessly for giving her the chance of loving service. Page 184, Their Eyes Were Watching God. Which theme is developed through this section? A. Time slows down when death occurs. B. It's nearly impossible to survive the loss of a soulmate. C. Self-preservation is not without sacrifice. D. Unhealthy love never ends well. 3. Part B. Which literary techniques help to develop the theme for Part A? A. Symbol and simile. B. Metaphor and juxtaposition. C. Narration and dialectical speech. D. Mood and imagery. 4. If the story were not told in frame structure, the reader would lose A. Phoebe's criticism of Janie's life choices. B. How Janie feels about this new phase of her personal journey. C. Janie's reflections on her unhealthy love with Tea Cake. D. The town's challenge in recovering from the recent hurricane. 5. Read these 3 sentences from chapter 1 below. These sitters had been tongueless, earless, eyeless conveniences all day long. Mules and other brutes had occupied their skins, but now the sun and bossmen were gone, so the skins felt powerful and human. Which statement reflects accurate word-level analysis of these sentences? A. Hurston juxtaposes how skins feel by day and by night, so the reader knows why they act differently at those times of day. B. Hurston uses the term conveniences to suggest the sitters benefit from using mules and other brutes to assist with their labor. C. Hurston refers to the townspeople as sitters and skins without human senses to convey how they are still treated as slave laborers during the day. D. Hurston employs powerful and human side by side to emphasize the relationship between feeling alive and feeling empowered. 6. All of the following are examples of how Janie's love for tea cake is unhealthy except A. TK strikes Janie when he learns Miss Turner's brother's coming to town. B. TK gambles with Janie's money without telling her first. C. TK teaches Janie how to hunt, fish, and play checkers. D. TK draws a gun on Janie in a delusional rage. E. TK has a flirtation with another young woman. 7. The character Miss Turner represents the ill effects of A. Feminism. B. Colorism. C. Sexism. D. Communism. 8. Which of the following are examples of historical trauma that shaped the plot of the book? Select all that apply. A. Jill Starks incorporates Eatonville and becomes the town mayor. B. Miss Turner looks degrades tea cake because of his skin tone. C. Black women are treated as mules. D. During Janie's trial, black witnesses are denied a voice. E. Nanny was a slave and abused by her owners. Shh, Junie. No. 9. Why does Janie and Jill's relationship change over time? A. Janie falls in love with the younger man. B. As Joe ages, he is unable to show affection to Janie. C. The town stops supporting Joe because of how he treats Janie. D. Joe feels threatened by Janie's emerging voice. 10. What was Hurston's purpose for writing this novel in dialect? A. To invite multiple interpretations of the characters' meanings. B. To emulate the style of other writers of the Harlem Renaissance. C. To cast suspicion on the narrator's version of events. D. To validate and celebrate Black English as a language. Section 2. On-demand essay. Read the excerpt called Graduation from a book called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by award-winning poet and author Maya Angelou. Then write a literary analysis essay, the response to the prompt. Keep in mind that you're writing an essay, not an open-ended response. You should develop your line of reasoning through multiple paragraphs that contain claims, evidence, and analysis. Graduation from I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. 1. Don Levy's dead words fell like bricks around the auditorium, and too many settled in my belly. To my left and right, the proud graduating class of 1940 had dropped their heads. Every girl in my row had found something new to do with her handkerchief. Some folded the tiny squares into love knots, some into triangles. On the dais, the ancient tragedy was being replayed. Professor Parsons sat, a sculpture's rigid, his large, heavy body seemed devoid of will or willingness, and his eyes said he was no longer with us. The other teachers examined the flag, which was draped stage right, or their notes, or the windows which opened on our famous baseball diamond. Graduation, the hush-hush magic time of frozen gifts and congratulations and diplomas, was finished for me before my name was called. The accomplishment was nothing. The meticulous maps drawn in 3 colors of ink, learning and spelling decasyllabic words, memorizing the whole of the Rape of Lucrece. It was for nothing. Don Levy had exposed us. We were maids and farmers, handymen, washermen. Anything higher that we aspired was farcical and presumptions. It was awful to be Negro and have no control over my life. It was brutal to be young and already trained to sit quietly and listen to charges brought against my color with no chance of defense. As a species, we were an abomination. I thought of colors I hated: ecru, puce, lavender, beige, and black. There was shuffling and rustling around me. Then Henry Reed was giving his valedictory address. To be or not to be? Hadn't he heard the white folks? We couldn't be. So the question was a waste of time. Henry's voice came out clear and strong. I feared to look at him. Hadn't he got the message? There was no nobler in the mind for Negroes because the world didn't think we had minds. They let us know it. I'd been listening and silently rebutting each sentence with my eyes closed. There was a hush, which in an audience where says something unplanned is happening. I looked up and saw Henry Reed, the conservative, the proper, the A student, turn his back on the audience and turn to us, the proud graduating class in 1940, and sing, nearly speaking. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. It was the poem by James Weldon Johnson. It was the music composed by J. Rosamond Johnson. It was the Negro national anthem. Out of habit, we were singing it. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in days when hope unborn had died. Every child I knew had learned that song with his ABCs, along with the Jesus loves me, this I know. But I personally had never heard it before, never heard the words. Despite the thousands of times I had sung them, never thought they had anything to do with me. And now I heard, really for the first time. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. While echoes of the song shivered in the air, Henry Reed bowed his head and said, "Thank you," and returned to his place in line. The tears that slipped down many faces were not wiped away in shame. We were on top again. As always, again we survived. The depths had been icy and dark, but now, a bright sun spoke to our souls. I was no longer simply a member of the proud graduating class in 1940. I was a proud member of the wonderful, beautiful Negro race. Prompt. You have just read the excerpt from Maya Angelou's acclaimed collection of the stories I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. In a literary analysis essay, explain how Angelus develops one of her themes through this excerpt. You should reference at least two literary techniques in your essay. Pre-writing space. For my ELs, instead of using the pre-writing space, you can use that, but try to use the packet to write an outline before you write your actual essay. Good luck. By the way, that was my cat meowing.